man arrived at a large company for a job interview. The annual salary for the position was $1 million, but everyone was shocked when they saw his appearance. His clothes were dirty, and there were paint stains on his face. The company owner was not happy to see him, but the man didn't make excuses. Instead, he told the truth. He explained that he had been detained the previous night because he couldn't pay a traffic fine, so he never got the chance to go home and change his clothes. After hearing that, the owner sarcastically asked, "If a man walked into a job interview without a shirt and I hired him, what would you think?" The man smiled and replied, "Then his pants must have been amazing." The owner burst out laughing and gave him a chance. But the real challenge had just begun. There were 20 trainees in the company and only one permanent position available. The biggest obstacle was that the internship was unpaid. His hardest question was, how would he support his son? Still, he refused to give up and started working the very next day. He arrived at the office first every morning and worked with complete dedication. He always finished early enough to pick up his son from school on time. The manager often sent him to do small tasks like getting coffee or running errands, but he never complained. As time passed, his struggles became worse. Because he couldn't pay rent, he and his son were forced out of their home. That night, they took shelter in a public restroom. The father spread papers on the floor so his son could sleep comfortably. When someone knocked on the door during the night, he sat silently and covered his son's ears. He had faced every challenge bravely, but that night he felt completely broken inside. Even then, he didn't give up. During the day, he worked as hard as he could. At night, he stood in line at homeless shelters with his son hoping to find a place to sleep. After his son fell asleep, he studied under dim lights and learned new things. To make up for the lack of money, he even started selling his blood. With that small amount, he somehow managed to support himself and his son. One day, he got the opportunity to meet an important client. The client asked him to reach the office within 20 minutes, and he rushed there immediately. But on the way, his manager assigned him another task. By the time he arrived, the client had already left. He felt disappointed, but he didn't lose hope. During the weekend, he went directly to the client's house with his son and apologized. The client was impressed by his dedication and determination. Although he didn't offer him a deal immediately, he introduced him to several new clients. Slowly but steadily, his efforts started paying off. Finally, the last day of training arrived. The manager called him into the office. Trying to ease the tension, he joked, "I wore a shirt today because it's the last day." The manager smiled and said, "Wear it tomorrow too, because your job starts tomorrow." When he heard those words, he stayed silent for a moment and tears of joy filled his eyes. After a long struggle and countless hardships, his hard work finally paid off.